The winter wind swept through the small town of Maple Ridge. The streets were quiet, save for the distant rumble of traffic and the crunch of snow under tired boots. Ryan Mitchell, a 29-year-old delivery driver, was on his last shift of the day. The heater in his van had died hours ago, and his fingers were numb, but he kept going, because that's what Ryan did. Kept going, no matter how hard things got. Life had been cruel lately. 3 months ago, he'd lost his father, and the medical bills had wiped out his savings. His girlfriend left when he couldn't make rent on time. Every night he found himself wondering if life had any kindness left for him. That evening, as he drove toward the edge of town, he saw something in the corner of his eye. A car stopped on the side of the snowy road, its hazard lights blinking. A woman stood beside it, shivering, looking helplessly at her phone. Ryan slowed down, hesitating. He was exhausted, hungry, and late. But a small voice inside him whispered, "Help her, asterisk." He pulled over. "Hey, everything all right?" he called out. The woman sighed in relief. "My car just died. I called for help, but they said it'll be 2 hours." Ryan stepped out, his breath turning to mist in the frigid air. Popped the hood. Let's see. Within minutes, he found the problem: a dead battery. He grabbed his jumper cables, started her car, and even brushed the snow off her windshield. "You should be good now," he said with a tired smile. The woman's eyes were full of gratitude. "You just saved me. I was on my way to the hospital. My mom's in critical condition." Ryan's expression softened. "Then go. Don't waste a minute." She thanked him again and drove off into the night. He never even got her name, just watched her taillights disappear, and then got back into his freezing van. But the night wasn't done with him yet. Halfway home, Ryan's own van broke down completely. He had no choice but to walk the last mile in the biting cold, his breath trembling. He stumbled into his apartment past midnight, his body aching and his heart heavy. Collapsing onto his couch, he muttered, "Every time I help someone, life kicks me right back." He didn't know it yet, but the universe was already setting something in motion. The next morning, Ryan woke up with a pounding headache and a dead phone. He was late for work. Again, his boss, a hard man named Derek, gave him a glare that could freeze steel. "One more late delivery, Mitchell, and you're done," he barked. Ryan just nodded, feeling the weight of defeat settle on his shoulders. Inside, he felt like giving up. 2 days later, an unfamiliar number called his phone. "Hi, is this Ryan Mitchell?" Gentle voice asked. "Yes," he said cautiously. "This is Emily Collins. You helped me on the road a few nights ago when my car died," Ryan remembered. "Oh yeah? Did you get to the hospital on time?" "I did," she said softly. "Because of you, I got to see my mom one last time before she passed away. I don't know how to thank you for that." Ryan's heart ached for her. "You don't have to. I'm just glad you made it." Emily paused, then added, "Actually, my father owns a logistics company. We're opening a new branch here and he's looking for drivers." "You mentioned you drive for a living?" Ryan blinked, stunned. "Yeah. Then come by tomorrow," she said. "I want you to meet him." The next day, Ryan walked into Collins Freight Solutions, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and nerves. Emily greeted him with a warm smile and introduced him to her father, Robert Collins, a man with sharp eyes and a kind handshake. "So, you're the guy who helped my daughter," Robert said. "You've got good timing. We need someone dependable, someone with a good heart." "Emily says that's you." Ryan chuckled nervously. "Just try to do the right thing." Robert smiled. "That's exactly the kind of person I want on my team. Welcome aboard." Ryan was floored. The job paid almost double his old salary, with full benefits and weekends off. For the first time in months, it felt like life was finally smiling back. That night, sitting on his porch with a cup of coffee, he looked up at the stars and whispered, "Maybe the universe does notice." Weeks turned into months, and Ryan's life transformed. He moved into a better apartment, fixed up his old van, and started visiting his late father's favorite diner every Sunday, a small luxury he could and afford before. One rainy evening, leaving the diner, saw a young man in a soaked hoodie on the curb, holding a sign that read, "Hungry. Just need a chance." People hurried past, ignoring him. Ryan hesitated, then walked over. "You eaten today?" he asked. The man shook his head. Not since yesterday. Ryan handed him his bag of leftovers. Here, it's warm. The man's eyes widened. Thank you, sir. You don't know what this means? Ryan nodded and handed him a business card. Come by this address tomorrow. It's where I work. I'll talk to my boss. Maybe we can find something for you. The next day, the man showed up. His name was Ben, and he was nervous, but eager. After a short conversation with Robert Collins, Ben was hired as an assistant driver. Over time, he and Ryan became close friends. But life had another test for Ryan. One night, a truck ran a red light and slammed into his van. The impact was brutal. He woke up in a hospital bed, his arm in a cast, ribs fractured, and his mind foggy. He was there for 2 weeks, the old anxieties about bills and his job creeping back in. When he was discharged, he found Robert and Emily waiting for him. Robert smiled gently. Relax, Ryan. We covered your bills. You've done more good for people than you know. It's time the universe paid you back. Ryan's eyes filled with tears. I can't accept that. You already did, Emily said softly. The moment you stopped on that snowy road, Ryan couldn't stop the tears. He realized this wasn't just luck. It was the universe returning every ounce of kindness he had given out, multiplied. A year later, Ryan was promoted to operations manager. He was making more money than he'd ever dreamed of, but his true happiness came from what he did with it. He started a small program called Miles of Kindness, where volunteer drivers delivered food and essentials to struggling families. Ryan led every delivery himself on weekends. One afternoon, while unloading boxes at a shelter, he saw a familiar face volunteering beside him. It was Ben. He grinned. Didn't I tell you, man? You help one person, and the universe gives you 100 reasons to smile? Ryan laughed. Guess you were right. Years passed. Ryan became known across the state as the driver who never stopped giving, but he never saw himself as a hero. Whenever someone thanked him, he'd just smile and say, I just believe what you give to the world finds its way back. And then one day, that belief came full circle. Driving home from an event, Ryan saw a car spin out on an icy road and crash. Without a second thought, he rushed to help, pulling a terrified young woman from the wreckage and staying until help arrived. He later learned she was the mayor's daughter. The story hit the news and donations flooded his charity. His project expanded to 3 more cities, and Ryan was honored at a state ceremony. Standing on stage, he smiled humbly and said, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in connection. Every act of kindness echoes back. When you help someone, the universe helps you back, sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, but always faithfully. As the crowd rose to their feet, Ryan looked up, as if thanking that same invisible force that had watched over him since that snowy night. He knew he'd been right all along. Kindness wasn't a one-way street. It was a circle. And in that circle, the universe always finds its way home. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.